97th episode, right? Or 98th? Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's June 21st. We are in Miami at Rich Speaks, and myself, Skyla, and Marshall are in Miami. We have an important dinner tonight, so we're doing the broadcast remote. Which, for those of you who've been following it, this is the 98th episode, so we've done this several times. Yeah, Marshall, how you doing, my man?
All right, I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Jason, what's up over there in hot Vegas?
Another $1.10 here. Temperature is scalding hot. JB Ballin, Papa G, what's up, fellas? Good to see you.
Jason, to say that I'm perplexed about the market continues to be an understatement. Why don't we go through the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, which appears to be insanity as far as I'm concerned, but let's go. And maybe Jason, it's possible for you to give us the rationale, if there is any, as to what we're seeing here.
Well, Friday, it was a holiday. Today, the pumpitude was in full effect as the Federal Reserve is back in action, in my opinion. The Dow, in lieu of that, was up 586 points. We know the Fed's pumping fuel into this fire. 33,876 for the Dow. They're also, the Fed's buying mortgage-backed securities. The Fed's doing it all. How long can they do it? The NASDAQ was up 111, 14,141, and the S&P was up 58, 42.24. China came out with more of their bearish stuff, basically saying, get Bitcoin the hell out of our country. Needless to say, Ethereum fell below 2,000, actually went into the 1,800 range, 1890s. It's 1948. Bitcoin followed suit with the sell-off, 32,610, and oil, actually, huge day for oil. We're going to talk about that. $73.14 for a barrel of light sweet crude. That was good for a $1.85 gain. Gold up $15 to $17.83, and silver was flat, $26. Copper up a few pennies to $4.18. Oil was on the mind today. Did you guys check out all the oil tickers flying today?
I did. I saw Oxy up, Exxon up, and for full disclosure, we were long those stocks coming into today.
Nice. Marshall, what do you think about this more of the rinse and repeat from China?
Well, I can't say that I haven't been saying that it's going to continue to happen. I still feel like in the persecution of Bitcoin and crypto in general from China and the U.S., it's still early days.
Yeah, CNBC has an article up, Nick, if you would. Bitcoin sinks to two-week low as China intensifies crypto mining crackdown. Bitcoin fell as low as 31,760 Monday morning, dropping below 32,000 for the first time since June 8th. It looks like they're extending their reach as far as banning crypto mining, now extended into the southwestern province of Sichuan, according to reports. And it looks like they're encompassing some of the banks, too, with Alipay and some of the other major banks cracking down on crypto trading. So it looks like it's here to stay. I noticed that Canon, ticker CAN, actually moved some of, or their PR that they're moving some of their mining equipment to Kazakhstan. Nick, if you would. Canon on the day down 7.71%, $8.40 after hours. A lot of the crypto tickers got pummeled today. Obviously, Riot, Mara. Hey, Clean Spark took a bath today. Yeah. So that's where we're at with the crypto tickers, guys.
Where's Clean Spark today?
I think it went down into the 16s. Matter of fact, let's just give you the latest and greatest information here for Sparky.
Did they end up filing their ATM?
Yeah, They had another 300 million ATM, if I recall correctly. It's definitely alive. $17.16, down 8.28%. And that was pretty much in line, though, to be fair. In line with the rest of the crypto tickers. I guess the loss leader there as far as crypto was... Wow, look at Dogecoin, 20 cents. Yeah, it looks like SPRT, MicroStrategy is down 9%. So, yeah, pretty much in line. Huh.
You see a pretty massive sell-off in crypto. What are you thinking?
Well, I would say that it's a big sell-off for their day. It's still within the band. If you look at it technically on a chart, it's still within the band that it's a $10,000 range that it's been trading in. But you know what this leads me to believe is that all that happened was a reiteration of what we experienced 2 weeks ago, right, Jason?
Yeah.
And they're really forcefully cracking down on the miners that are in a particular province in China where the electricity is hydro there.
Yeah.
And so what this is going to do is it's going to force those miners are not going to go out of business. They're just going to go somewhere else. So it's going to force them to go to another area, probably the Western world, and it's going to force them into a more green method of mining as they're coming from a hydroelectric mining area. So I believe that, even though it's a dark cloud today, that's a silver lining. Those miners are going to leave China. They're used to cheap energy with hydro, and they've been making a lot of money with their mining efforts. I think they're going to move to somewhere in the Western world and start up there and use clean energy.
Yeah, in fact, one of the tickers in particular that we've traded on and off here, personally here, is SOS. In fact, Nick, SOS today down 6.34%. SOS had news today. We'll piggyback on what Marshall's saying. SOS enters into a joint venture agreement, Nick, if you would, with Niagara Development, accelerates its blockchain operations into the U.S. I knew they had 3 LOIs in the works, and it looks like this joint venture here, up to 150 megawatts of electricity, including electricity generated from renewable sources, keywords, obviously, and construction. Looks like the Digital Supercomputing Custody Operations Center. This is something to keep an eye on. This place happens to be in Wisconsin. I knew about this. Still, with that news, seemingly a bullish move for the Chairman Wang there of SOS, it still was down 6% on the day. It's going to take a lot of capital to package all these miners up and ship them across in these cargo containers, which there's actually a shortage in cargo containers right now. So this will be an ongoing development, and there'll be a lot of costs by these Chinese mining companies to actually move a lot of this equipment throughout the world. So it should be interesting to watch. I know that some of these power places here in Wisconsin, Messina, New York. Actually, I know of one in Michigan also. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities here in the United States, and it looks like China doesn't want the hash rate over there. So it looks like the United States will possibly gain over 50% of the hash rate in the next couple of years. That's just my opinion.
Very interesting how originally China was a giant bull on crypto. Now, I really think that they recognize what it means as a tool for wealth freedom for their people, and now they hate it.
Well, you know why they hate it. They're trying to develop their own crypto.
Yeah, well, no, definitely, no question about it. They're going to develop their own crypto that they can continue to manipulate just like they manipulate the one.
You got it.
I don't see how they could develop their own crypto. Why anyone would want something that the Chinese would control? It makes no sense to me.
For their own people, they'll use it as a digital currency within China.
Yeah. I mean, it fits right into the CCP to track, to control, to regulate, to dominate. It's our way or the highway. Basically just another way to strong-arm people, to make decisions for the people. It's not about freedom in China. It's about control, and prosperity and freedom is not two of the focal points in China. So,
exactly. It's going to be interesting to watch how it plays out. And, we're looking at a perfect storm. There are so many variables that none of us could have thought of. Like, I wouldn't have thought that China would do what it's doing. I also wouldn't have expected a supply chain breakdown where containers are now sparse.
Yeah.
And so that means it's going to be more expensive to move miners, which means there's going to be less miners in play, which means more Bitcoins are going to go to the miners that are currently in play, which means those miners are going to make more money. Is that going to affect the price of Bitcoin? There's so many variables in play. It just goes to show you that when it comes to the markets, it's always going to do something that you weren't expecting. So it's going to be interesting to watch how it plays out.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of the things that's going on with the U.S. dollar, it's been very strong. It did come down a little bit today. The bond market, precious metals got smacked down as well as crypto. So yeah, the king, the U.S. dollar is on top right now, and it's quite interesting.
So the dollar, what happened, Jason? Did the dollar just retrace a little bit today?
Yeah, it did go. Let me see if I have I think I have a chart for the dollar.
Because I would expect it to just breathe just a little bit because it's been a bull.
Yeah, here's a 1 day here, Nick. I did have it pulled up on barchart.com. There you see down to 91.86. We take a look at the 5 day. There's a good indication right there. So the Fed met last week, and boom, parabolic. Now it's starting to cool off a little bit. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see if it continues to cool, which I don't think. I believe it's a manipulated market, but if it continues to cool, then we'll see commodities come back again, I think. We'll see.
Yep. So,
hey, all of you out there, we're going to have our 100th episode on this Wednesday. It'll be a little bit affected by the fact that Marshall has to go to New York for a funeral, but we are still going to do our show. We look forward to you guys sending in your videos for the 100th episode. Let me read you something real quickly here. A little crude here because we're in a hotel room and we are traveling. But I want to go over it with you real quick. And that is, we'd like to send in a video. It would be great, 5 seconds or so about the show. We're going to put a little montage together. We're going to have some on-air guests, and you will be featured on the show. Text 100-949-799-1831, 949-799-1831. We'd love to have you send a video in 5 seconds, what you like about the show, things like that. Get your questions in, obviously, in queue to Josh, and stick around for that show. We're going to have a fun show. We didn't expect Marshall to not be at the show on the 100th episode, but he's gonna call in, so it'll be fun. Jason, anything else we need to cover on the markets today?
I wanted to get into some individual tickers, but as far as the macroeconomics and the indicators, I think we covered everything. A couple of sectors were very hot today. Obviously, the energy sector was very hot, and we did have a pop in a few biotechs today. We're going to get into that as well. Todd, did you do anything interesting on the trading side today?
I'm looking at increasing the position of naked. That's pulled back pretty significantly from the last purchase. NAKD, but that shouldn't be new to anybody. We did put on a short in the diamonds.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the day, the Dow was up around 600 points. We have a decent position in the diamonds short, not huge. As a hedge. We still have a small position in the SQQQs and the triple Qs. And in fact, they were up this morning, which was perplexing to me with the way the market traded. I got to be honest with you. I'm going through one of those stages right now where I quite don't have conviction in any specific area. And there seems to be a little insanity with liquidity. So that concerns me a great deal. I am definitely not overwhelmed with anything where I'm like, this has got to be bought right now today.
Right.
I saw ALZN pulled back. That thing went public at 5 and screamed all the way to 33.55, and it's pulled back significantly Volume's lighter than it has been, but obviously it's just getting its footing. Can't make a lot of comments there because I'm the largest shareholder, but I did see it pull back. I saw SSNT, end up nicely, continuing to not heavy volume, but had a high of 848, close kind of the high of the day. Of course, that's a 13D filer for us. Jason, you see anything particular? I did sell Oxy and Exxon at the end of the day to lighten up. I kind of just was not in the mood to what I figured feels like a seesaw for us. It just seems like a little bit of a roller coaster with kind of no direction, which is what we thought was going to happen a while ago. We talked about this, Jason, over the last month and a half, 2 months, that we thought we were going to go into a range where we kind of were not going anywhere. I mean, have we gone anywhere, really? I mean, I know this is a big move today, but are we just effectively at the same spot we were a week ago? Where are we?
Yeah, I mean, we just got back what we lost. It doesn't look like S&P is not an all-time high. We just got back where we were. I do know this, though, oil making a huge move. I mean, 73 a barrel. This is going to translate to even more pain at the pumps. I almost asked you to put on this trade from GBR. This thing went absolutely crazy today. Nick, if you would, 73% runner. One of these stocks in the oil and gas industry that traders like to grab a hold of, moderate float, and this thing actually went parabolic today. And there was also a couple of other, one or two other oilers that I looked at, ENSV, CEI. Those are a couple of pennies that actually did pretty well today. I mean, most of the oil tickers were up 8% all the way up to GBR, which led the way, up 73%. TRCH, obviously, we've traded that in the past. TRCH touched $10 today. $10 hairs. Nick, $9.92, $9.96 after hours. I have to look at that one because it's just torture for me. Todd, you've had so many.
Oh my God! It really did. You really did call that name.
Yeah.
Oh my God! That thing was $1.50, wasn't it?
Yeah, the ex-dividend date is tomorrow, so you'll get the preferred shares. So that was a huge run-up today. Everybody's piling in to get the preferred. We did our thing. We made a decent lick on it, and I didn't get back into it. I didn't suggest getting back into it, and we missed out on about 1.4 million.
Wow, that was it. Well, would you have ever thought it would have went to 10 though? I mean, that's an incredible move, man.
Huge shorts in this thing, multi-day runner. I mean, I thought it would get to 5, but here we are at $10. And if you look at its partner MMATF, this is quite interesting actually. Let's look at this real quick. So year to date, Nick, go back to the screen, please. Year to date, it's up 1,297%. Okay. Now, they're going to reverse takeover with MMATF, Metamaterials on the OTC. Okay, it was up big today. Look, they're almost mirrored in price now, $9.30. Let's look at the year to date. Oh, look at that. Coincidental? A 1,600% winner. So these guys ran in tandem, and now they're going to join forces. So, yeah, I'm a little upset. I read this one right, and I just didn't follow through with it. But whatever, profit's profit. On to the next one.
That's how it always goes, doesn't it?
I've never been so disappointed to trade and make $80,000 to $100,000 in a trade. I mean, first world problems, right? Crazy. So,
first world problems, right?
I will get into this though. I wanted to talk about. We got segment 2 here. 7 minutes left. Let's talk about the other industry, the other sector that was hot today. Let's talk about biotechs. Let's talk about Cassava Sciences, ticker symbol SAVA. Nick, real quick on the screen, I just want to show this for the home gamers here. Okay, today I had a great day, up 12.64%. Let's look at the year to date, and we're looking at SAVA. Primarily has an Alzheimer's drug, up 1,165%. $82 up year to date. SAVA was $7 in January. That's crazy, right?
So this is a direct competitor, a direct comparable to Alzheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer has 2 drugs, obviously, and today the company just highlighted the process of where they are in the upcoming data release. I don't know that I'm in a position anymore to comment on these things now that we're public.
I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned it because I have a public announcement right here, Nick, from SAVA, SAVA. What you were talking about, Todd. Open label study completes patient enrollment. This is their guideline here, their timeline. Cognition maintenance study initiated May 2020. It's 30% enrolled. You know, and they lay out the time frame here. Apparently, they're going to the AAIC conference in July. That's interesting. And then they also have a phase 3 program initiation. It remains on track for the second half of 2021. So all of this is quite interesting. You guys can check it out on your own, but just know that the Alzheimer's drug market is pretty hot. Biogen, they had some issues. We were going to touch on that. Of course, ANVS, SAVA, and of course, you know, the other one that we talk about that we can't really talk about.
Well, if you look at from a market cap perspective, obviously there's a big difference in Alzheimer's market cap versus others, but I think this is probably one I should stay clear of for now until I get guidance from counsel.
Sure.
I can really even comment on the actual stocks. But I would encourage everyone, if they want to know about Alzheimer, they could just read the prospectus, which was recently filed because the company went public a week ago tomorrow. Been a volatile week for the stock. I can comment on that volatility.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see it moving forward. So that's great. And by the way, the goal is to solve the Alzheimer's problem. And so if someone can get there, let's let them get there. That's all they care about, is that this terrible disease has someone there out there. I mean, listen, I talked about this before with ED and Lipitor when it was cholesterol. Lipitor came out, and eventually there were other cholesterol drugs. It's important to have a cocktail of things available for Alzheimer's because not one drug solves all problems. So this is a big, wide open space for many players here. And there's many big pharmas that are going to need those drugs. So this is a exciting place to be. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I agree.
Marshall, I wanted to chat with you about a little bit more on the macro side of it, and that is, is it one of those things where they just can't kill Bitcoin? And so because I don't quite get the euphoria of what happened with Doge, and kind of the way that it feels a little sloppy with Elon Musk going in there and kind of almost promoting things. And remember, from the time he bought and announced he had his on his balance sheet, I believe it's going back and approaching those levels again, where he bought it and put it on his balance sheet. I saw Saylor's company getting hit a little bit today. I wonder if we could take a little bit of a pullback view about your thoughts on what you do here at crypto. I'm kind of anxious to get into Ethereum now, because I actually see it as the backbone for what the internet can do in terms of transactional stuff. And I wonder if you can kind of circle the conversation back to maybe just reminding everyone about your thesis again.
Sure. Well, it's definitely an interesting place to be in now, to see such a pullback from its high and to see it under the pressure that it's under right now, especially as it's pulled back so much, it continues to get hit. I think it's kind of proving our thesis that we've been saying here on Risk On, that it's more than just an asset for alpha. It's more of a wealth preservation freedom asset. But I think we need to bifurcate Bitcoin and Ethereum from the rest of the altcoins like Doge, like you mentioned. That's a casino. It's Vegas on steroids. If you have a Binance account, you can lever that thing up, greater than you can a Forex account, and just make bets and go hog wild. But I think you're absolutely correct as it pertains to Ethereum. Ethereum is the backbone. As NFTs continue to get more popular and are in more of a need to authenticate digital products, digital pieces of art, etc., it's all run on Ethereum. So the application for Ethereum. Now, I feel like when I talk about Ethereum, I almost sound like I'm talking about silver, because as Jason and I go back and forth on the show daily, we talk about all the applications that silver has. And I keep saying, Jason, I've heard this for 20 years, all the applications that silver has, and that market has just stayed in a range. But I think that Ethereum is something different. That we are truly moving forward. We're not going backwards. We're moving forward digitally. NFTs are only going to be more pervasive and needed and required. And the Ethereum backbone is going to be the railway that the entire new internet, crypto, blockchain infrastructure runs on. And Bitcoin is just going to be a gold type store of value. And it's going to continue to take the brunt and take all the hits and punches from all of the governments worldwide, because it is the number one brand in the crypto space. But I think you're right on Ethereum. This is a place to buy Ethereum. Sub 2,000 Ethereum, I would be taking advantage of this every day. Now, obviously, this is not investment advice. This is just how I feel personally, and how I see it from a macro perspective as a macro investor.
Todd, you
Appreciate
mentioned.
that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You mentioned Elon put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Actually, I was just looking at it, and that actually happened February 8th, 1.5 billion. Nick, I got this CNBC article here, February 8th, just a short time ago. Let's mock this up here with the charting here. So February 8th, we're looking at Elon buying 1.5 billion at approximately 46,687. I don't know if you guys can see that on my screen. Here, let me just see if I can make this a little bit bigger, because I want to just look at what happened. Okay. So Elon goes ham. He buys the goods, 46,687. Rocket ship, massive volume. Follow my cursor. Boom. 57,000. And then it just actually, China came out with news about the mining and, back down to 44.8. And it's been a roller coaster. And it seems like a lot of times China now has released this information 3 different times. I don't know why. It's like they put it on a timely reminder, and they've been saying this since 2017 or 2018. But then, it rallied again in April, and it peaked at, 63,480. And then obviously it's been peaks and valleys since then. And now, we're looking down at 32.6. Pressure from the U.S. dollar, pressure from other governments, like Marshall said. They fear Bitcoin, in my opinion. Even Donald Trump came out and said, hey, this is competition to the U.S. dollar. So you've got all this FUD coming out, all this misinformation coming out. They don't want people to get real wealth, like Marshall talked about. This is a nice storage of wealth, and this is our opinion, obviously. But, Bitcoin's still in its infancy stages. Ethereum also serves great. Ethereum serves a lot to the world. If we could ever get our elections on the blockchain, that would be amazing. I mean, I just think it would be a nice, secure way to make sure that elections are fair. And as far as that goes, there's always been a question about elections around the world. There's been communist nations that have had elections that haven't gone quite right. So yeah, that would be quite interesting.
Now, can I just jump in here to kind of buttress your point here, Jason, is that what you're saying, and you are reflecting that there are so many further applications that the blockchain can deliver for us in a digital space that we currently have in a physical space.
Yeah.
So we're replicating everything atomic and physical into digital. So if it's running on Ethereum, then we recognize the value there. But I just want to say this, okay? Our inflation narrative seems clear as day to us, not only to us, but everyone else who is a sophisticated investor, has been in the markets, and can see the writing on the wall. I just want to say this. If the dollar continues to run, that's the monkey wrench. If you have a rising dollar, and if the gold and silver markets continue to rise, okay, then the inflation narrative kind of changes.
Sure.
So I'm not saying that it's not, we're not going to continue to see the inflation that we're all predicting. But if you have a manipulated dollar that runs, you need to watch out for deflation. And that's just something to keep an eye on. I feel like we're at this tipping point. You know, Bitcoin right now is at the neckline. With that chart that you showed, I don't know the time frame on that, but it kind of looked like it was at a neckline of like a Head and Shoulders.
Yeah. That was on the, that's the 6-month chart going back to February when Elon bought in.
Okay, so that's a February. It looks like a Head and Shoulders to me. That's a clear neckline.
Sure.
So from a technical perspective, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. But the dollar's a monkey wrench that I wasn't expecting, and I don't think anybody else really was either.
You know, you can't kill it.
By the way,
like you said.
by the way, keep in mind, Bank of America is calling for $100 oil. $100.
Wow,
I believe it.
Big number.
Energy independence is no longer an important criteria for this administration. They prefer to get foreign oil and mess around with that geopolitical environment, which I don't like. Todd, I just have an S3 filing here for MDRR, $150 million of common stock. Ticker symbol MDRR.
150 million?
Yes.
It's a big number. They filed the shelf.
Yeah.
Well, we sold that stock.
Wow.
That should strengthen the preferred.
Yeah. Just thought that was interesting. Just popped up on my screen.
Hey, did you see, Jason, did you see that Exxon was going to lay off 10% of its white collar staff? Did you hear that?
I saw that today.
Yep.
Yeah. That's an interesting play. I mean, if we can expect higher gas prices, what are they doing there? Why would they do that? I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the company and its balance sheet and its expenses, but 10% is a big number for a company like that to lose top management.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. I don't know how much in that is salary and incentives. That's a big number, though.
I have to look further into that, but I was taken aback when I saw the headline.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. That's a big number for white collar staff.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So yeah, oil. I mean, $100 barrels. Yeah, I could see that for sure. And $6.75 gas in California. Sure, I see that. $7 maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So.
Wow, that's a big number.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets there. Yeah, I think we're $5 and change at the pumps here in Nevada. By the time,
yeah, I wanted to point out something about the Supreme Court today, and that is, they affirmed college players being able to be paid. Yeah. And I think this changes the narrative. Now, that was ruled by the lower court, and they affirmed the ruling, and they did it 9-0. So I think the era of college players being paid in college to play basketball, to play sports, probably is on its way. And the arcane rules of the universities making all the money and the college players getting nothing other than an education, which, by the way, is something, of course.
Sure.
Over. And I think it changes the demographics of the ad dollars, the value of those individual players. This is a really interesting scenario here. Are either one of you familiar with amateur athletes being paid in college? I know there's a case here, and the case was affirmed by the Supreme Court. So now the narrative is different here.
Well, they owe an apology to Reggie Bush, because didn't they crucify him? I mean, there were plenty of athletes in the NCAA. Everybody knew that there were boosters, and everyone recognized that, you know, there was help to college athletes, help to their families, especially if they come from the inner city. I mean, same thing with the Boz, right? You guys remember the Boz?
Yeah, for sure. Remember
what the Boz went through? He went through because there was boosters that were giving him money. He's driving his Corvette, you know. I think this is great. I think that the NCAA and the schools make millions and millions of dollars on the backs of these student athletes, and the student athletes deserve an opportunity to be remunerated for the effort and the work that they put in. That's a revenue generator. It's different when you play Pop Warner. It's different when you play high school football. It's public funds. It isn't a revenue generator, but the brands in this country, the brands of university are made through their teams, and it's televised, and sponsorships are there vis-a-vis advertising. NCAA makes money, and the school makes money basically on free labor from the players.
Yeah, and they stripped. I believe they stripped Reggie Bush of his Heisman Trophy, which was terrible.
Yep.
What a great player and a good guy. And they effectively, I think, took some championships away from USC. I can't remember the details. Of course, I was a big SC fan back then.
Yes.
And they've always, to me, they've never done their fair thing with them, right? They could have given them a stipend. Hey, you're going to get a couple grand a month. They could have had this off, but they resisted the politics around it, the money grab around it. And now the power is in the players and the people who do the work, the people who risk effectively can be risking their lives to play football, or their livelihood or their future. And I thought it was interesting, 9-0. And that we're going to hear a lot more about that. Yes. Hey, Skyla, what's up with the joke of the day? We haven't heard from you all day. You're down here in Miami. I got to get a little bit more excited. I am a little tired. We've been traveling a little bit, and it continues as we go to a dinner tonight with the congressman down here in Miami. And we, I don't always have the stamina Marshall does apparently to keep going. Skyla, what's up? Hey, are we going to take her off mute? Let's go, Skyla. Let's get you off mute here.
Oh my Lord, I didn't even know I was on mute. I did it because they were vacuuming in the room next to me, and I didn't want it to keep going to my screen. But my joke is, how do you organize a space party? You plan it.
A lot of dad jokes here, which is what we're supposed to be doing here, right?
I love it.
I do too. I'm interested to see, I don't know if I'm going to give this much commentary, Marshall, but when ALZN went public for 5 and opened at 33, you have all these accolades. I tell everyone, you got to be patient with these things. And the haters come out. I think it's the haters come out that don't like me. And they go, look, it's back down to 8 or 9 or whatever it is. I didn't look much today.
Yeah.
Because I've been busy. And it's a longer term play for me. My goal is for us to help people with Alzheimer's. The money will follow if we're successful. And hopefully we will be. But I find it interesting that people who probably don't do anything, how many companies have they brought public? How much money have they raised?
Yeah.
I find it interesting what they say about me. Yes. I don't know if you guys realize what a bunch of idiots you are. I mean, literally, are you sitting in your parents' basement watching porn and talking about me? What do you want? I see people. One guy said he should be in jail. For what?
Dude.
You can't just say that. You can't just say that and it have no meaning. You guys don't realize how stupid you sound. And the fact is, some of them have followers. Most of them don't. You can tell. But I can't believe in a modern society, we still have such idiots out there.
Yeah.
I mean, literally morons writing. And by the way, fundamentally writing stuff that isn't true.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much the review process is? How many lawyers and the university's lawyer, how many people are involved in the IPO process to say things are fake? Come on, you guys are complete morons. But that's my...
Well, the internet, listen, Todd, and it irks me too, because I have to deal with some of that as well, being a social media, having a social media presence,
right,
being a personality. The internet is full of people talking about something they know nothing about. And somebody who steps out like you, who's achieved such a milestone like you have, you're a reminder of what people aren't doing. You remind people that they're not doing and they're not living to their potential and doing their utmost. And so what do? They just backlash online. They're nameless. They're faceless. There's no accountability, and they just puke.
And what we're building, and what we're building here, by the way, is we're in the first inning, man.
Oh,
We're like barely in the first inning.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
barely came out of the bullpen, man. We just threw our last warm-up pitches.
And I hear people thinking about, well, the price is down today. I mean, I don't care. Tell somebody else. I don't care. I even had one of my cousins say the price is down. I'm like, are you kidding me? Look at it in 6 months. Look at it in 5 years. I mean, come on, guys. It's scary to me how short-term people are. The whole world is your phone's at your fingertips. You're trading immediately. It's living insanity.
Yeah,
that I don't know how anyone's getting anything done, man.
I know. Man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I see one. Go ahead, Todd.
You go ahead, Jason.
I see one particular person saying, oh, what a catastrophe here. Geez, you know what? Sign me up for a catastrophe. A week ago, we went public, and now it's up 65%. That's a hell of a catastrophe. And we're not even here for this short-term noise. We're here to help help people.
The purpose was to raise money to put the drug in human beings.
Correct.
They have the money now to do that. Hello?
Unbelievable.
I mean, are you kidding me? And by the way, forget what you say about me. What is your mentality about your own money, man? Come on, man, get your money right.
Money right, man.
What are you doing with your own money? Like, are you planting any seeds for the future? Do you have any real estate? Really, honestly, what are you doing for your own future that you're worried about something? Really? It went public at 5 and it went to 8 or 750 or whatever.
Yeah.
On its way to 33. All that. Come on, man. I watched Amazon go public, go to 400, eventually go all the way to 4, and now it's 3,000. It's split a bunch of times. You got to have some thought process as to what the future holds. I mean, seriously. I forget anything to do with ALZN. I don't even care your comments. Take them, do whatever you want. Tell me I'm a piece of crap every day. I don't care. That's the point. I don't care. You don't get it. You should care about what you're doing with your own financial future. So with that in mind, we're going to have a weekly call, which, by the way, all you haters can sign up for and pay for. It's Big Business with Todd Ault, and Marshall Wilkinson will be on the call every day with me because I think he's a smart guy. He went to Harvard, for Christ's sake. Hey, we're going to be covering a lot of topics, IPOs, getting your business right. What are you doing in your business? Sales and negotiation. And I want to turn it over to Marshall for a little bit to talk about some of that sales negotiation. Marshall and I were down here at a conference, and we were watching a lot about how people speak. Richie Dolan was putting on a really nice conference. We had a great time with that. I wonder your thoughts, Marshall, on big business and what we're doing coming up.
Well, I'm really looking forward to the first big business call. So if anyone's interested, you want to get on these calls, text big. What's the number again, guys? What's the number?
949-799-1831, 949-799-1831. Skyla, I can see you yawning.
But what I also want to do is I want to give one free one-on-one coaching session on my time, my dollar, to a listener. So text free to the number Todd just said, and I will choose one, and we'll go one-on-one. We'll have a 45-minute coaching call, whatever you guys want to discuss. If you're a contractor, definitely, no brainer. If you're in sales, you have a business, you have anything to do with contracts and negotiation, without a doubt. If you're interested in macro investing, then I'm your guy. So that's legit. I will choose one person. I'll do that. So make sure you text free to that number.
Nice.
And by the way, people are paying Marshall between $5,000 and $15,000 a month for his coaching. By the way, am I right about that, or is it just $5 a month, Marshall?
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Okay, so all you haters that don't want to pay, don't pay. But all you lovers that want to pay and learn something, he's going to do something for you for free. Yeah. And the funny part about Marshall is he was kind of coaching me on the sidelines about some of the things we were doing for more than a year. And I said to him one day, I said, you should come join me in real estate, man. the stuff you're doing is crazy. He's like, nope, I'm only coaching. I'm only coaching one person at a time, meaning one-on-one coaching. And I'm like, no, come do it as a group with me, man. I'm on all these group conferences. And he's like, no, not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I convinced him to come on the show and add his wisdom to the show. And he's still coaching one-on-one, but he's on the show too, which is great, right? And then we got a guy like Jason, who really is a risk analysis guy. And when I can get him to, he'll give me advice on what the risk looks like. Right now, he's probably not happy with the mark and the dollar. He doesn't probably get it right now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Jason, what are your thoughts as we close out the show here? It's an abbreviated show today. Didn't cover a lot of stocks. What are your thoughts today?
Well, let's piggyback onto what Marshall's talking about. Lumber has recently sold off, actually becoming pretty affordable now, under $1,000 here, actually, which is interesting. It was up around 1,600. I wanted to bring a little bit more, some additional nutrients to the housing market. The Epic Times here today, time on market for typical U.S. home drops to just 6 days. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
As you may or may not know, in Las Vegas, there is no standing inventory for new construction, no spec homes. You know, that's probably the case in a lot of places in the country right now. Obviously, the mortgage rate's still low. We have, because of lumber, we did have some high costs associated with building new homes. But as lumber comes down and rates stay reasonable, actually really low, there may be quite an opportunity here in the next couple of months. That's just my opinion. Keeping that in mind, Todd, I wanted to introduce a new idea for us in particular, ticker symbol CCS. That is Century Communities, and that's the 1 month. It has reversed on the daily chart. B. Riley has recently given it a strong buy, and actually the target price for CCS is, I believe, there it is right here. Nick, if you would, 105 is the target for CCS. 18 straight years of profitability. It's a divvy stock. Very, very well known. CCS and M&I Homes, those are a couple of my personal picks here. I'm not recommending the stocks for a nice swing trade to get some exposure to the housing market. So CCS is what I was looking at today. Yeah, so for abbreviated show, I really don't have anything else to wrap up except as I look at Torchlight go well over $10 a share, and I have FOMO there. I will welcome you guys coming back here tomorrow. It'll be nice to have both of you in the studio. And what do you guys got? Go ahead. You got something, Todd?
All three of us in the studio.
Oh, I'm sorry, Skyla. I forgot you were here.
I'll tell you. Unfortunately, I'm going to Eric Schreiber's funeral tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I won't be there for the 100th episode, but looking forward to getting back in the studio. And before we wrap up, I just wanted to leave one piece of value about handling objections that we put together on the agenda just really quick. We didn't hit it on Friday, Todd, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wanted to bring it up again today, because it ties into where we are. We're at Rich Speak right now, Richie Dolan's conference. It's about communication and speaking. And I'm starting to recognize in a very meaningful way how difficult it is for people to communicate and articulate exactly how they feel, or make a meaningful and a compelling articulation of a product, an offer. These things come to me more naturally than it may come to other people. And being at the conference, I can see that. And what I want to do is I want to leave some value for some of the watchers here, especially if you guys are, in business, and even if you have to communicate with your wife or your kids and be more persuasive. One of the things I want you to keep in mind, and it's something that I keep in my mind all the time when I'm in a deal, when I'm trying to influence an outcome or trying to get someone to see my point of view, is always remember that the objections, the seeming objections that you get when you ask someone to do something or you bring something new to the table is not really an objection. It's always a complaint, and you need to always you need to see it as such until it can be validated later as a complaint. Believe me, if you guys take complaints and the fear that you get from receiving a complaint, or I should say an objection from someone else, and just view it as someone just complaining, you will be that much further in hanging in there long enough to do a deal, to close a deal, and to influence somebody without spending 2 hours on a deep dive. Just remember that. It's not an objection until it's validated as such. Always remember it's a complaint. Here's a perfect example. You go to Starbucks and you complain that you spent $7 for a coffee. And you get to the cashier and you go, this is crazy, man, $7? And they go, yeah, I understand. So how do you want to handle it? And you go, put it on a credit card. And you buy it anyway. Because the money was never really an objection. It was just a complaint. And that goes not just for money, but it goes with your kids and your wife. And when you're asking somebody to do a task in work, they're not objecting to it. They're just complaining. Do it anyway.
Marshall, perfect advice.
Thank
I'll
you.
take it myself.
Hey,
Sometimes you gotta
Todd.
remember that stuff. Yeah.
before we leave, we missed 2 super chats, and I need to call these out. DRDP29 with a $5 super chat asked a question about the new shorting rule. DTC005 is live Wednesday. Thoughts on the impact for heavily shorted stocks? DRDP, I'll cover that tomorrow. And then Crypto Joe with the $5 super chat. Shout out to Crypto Joe. Thank you both for the super chats. Okay, Todd, take it away.
Hey, important advice, by the way, Marshall. You always have to remember you got to continue to get coached. Even Tiger Woods has a coach all the time, even though he's the greatest golfer around. He's one of the greatest golfers now. You know, you go back and get a lesson. I got to remind myself that some things are complaints, some things are really objective. Some things people just want to bitch. Bitcoin is 32,593 and Ethereum is 1942. We'll have Randy on the show tomorrow. We're going to wrap it up here. We appreciate all your energy and time spending the last hour with us as we're in Miami. We're doing it remote. For my friend Marshall, who I wish him well on his trip back to New York to see his fallen friend. Jason, I'll see you tomorrow. Skyla, an absolutely excellent assistant, doing a great job here in Miami. I could not be more proud of her. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. We ready to wrap up, Brett?
Yep, we're rolling.
Hey, everybody. You guys take care of yourself. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.